A good leader, you have to be the best sacrificial mentality, and you have to sacrifice more. And it never stops. Law of sacrification tells you there is always a toll booth to pay the price, to go through this. There is once you deposit some money, you go to the next, there is another toll booth, and you have to pay again. And it goes on, and it's an ongoing process. You can never stop. There is, for a leader, there is no any sign of stoppage of sacrification. You have to sacrifice all the time. As you go higher, more the responsibilities, more the sacrification will be. And that's how the cost of, nowadays, if you go through, if you become a, whatever, in profession-wise, you have to pay cost. You have to pay the price to become whatever expert you want to be. So better you become, more the price you pay. Like cost of education. You want to be a master or PhD, how much price it costs? Versus a guy who's having no education, is a high school dropout. It doesn't cost him anything to get dropped. So better you go, more you pay. So, and growth stops when the price gets too high. Have you seen those bidding, like auctions? Did you notice that? When the auction starts, everybody starts bidding because the price is too low. Everybody can afford, okay, I will buy. And then it starts going up and up and up, and you see the buyers are getting low and low and low. And there's only a couple people at the end who are willing to pay the highest bid and highest price. They fight with each other to get things done. So that's why when you want to go up, the bidders will be less, but the bid will be so high. Are you willing to pay that? That's all the decision is. So let's talk about a little bit on this. Like Pat, you start because you read it very well, this law of sacrifice.
I started off, sorry.
No, that's okay. It means I'm glad. So you start that. Did you like that law?
Oh, you want me to?
Yeah, just what was your take after reading all that Martin Luther King story?
I thought it was like, I guess, and even what you were just saying too, like the bidding war, how like, when you're bidding, the people that, and in life, whoever is gonna sacrifice more, they're the ones that are gonna get higher in life too. Like, it's like, so I might wanna say I'll work 8 hours a day, now she's gonna work 10 hours, he's gonna work 15. And then, I mean, he's gonna get more because he's putting more sacrifice in. Assuming we're all at the same intelligence and the same working level, he's gonna be better because more dedication. I think it's the same with like the bidding war, like who's gonna put more into it.
Yeah, I agree. And they also had that out of like all the laws I was reading, I wasn't prepared for this one because everything seems to be so achievable until you hit the sacrifice, and it's like, am I ready for sacrifice though? I'd rather do all other parts to become a leader. Yeah, the fun ones, right? But I wasn't prepared to sacrifice because it's always like it's about time.
Yes.
You want to be a good leader, but do you want to put all the time into that, or you want to have a life too? So it's kind of constant balancing of what you want, what you think is best for you.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the toughest thing I always battle with, because I'm in sales, is like, I want to make a lot of money, and I've been successful, but then to get to that extra level, I mean, I got like 10x. I got even 10x that if I want to get to like 200 or 300. So do I really want to work the 10, 12 hours a day, work Saturdays? Do I want to put all that time and effort to get there? And that's what most of these people do. For instance, at my job, I recruit people for plant, manufacturing companies. And at the just at one level, there's a plant manager who runs the whole thing. The plant manager is there mostly 7 days a week, working like 8, 10-hour days. 12 hour. He would know, and they're normally making the most money at the plant level, but they're sacrificing a lot of time with their family, a lot of alone time, you know. It's a lot of sacrifice, so it really is. It's tough. If you wanna make money, it ain't no easy way. You gotta really put the effort in, time and effort.
Let me talk to you after this meeting.
Yeah, right.
Like Alina, I'm not a big fan of sacrifice. When I saw this, I went, what? Whoa. I'm not sure I want to sacrifice anything. And I get, what I'm left with after reading it, the example that they gave is one of the greatest men of all time. And you have to have a passion for what you're doing in order to sacrifice. I can't see making a move where I'm sacrificing family or income or location, any of those things, unless it's something I'm extremely passionate about. And for me, that's what it would take in order to sacrifice.
Works with mastery too. Takes a lot of sacrifice to learn to master something. You know, you can get to 80% pretty easy, but the details between somebody who's just good at something and somebody who truly is exceptional is that, you know, Malcolm Gladwell's 10,000 hours kind of a concept. And I agree with many people. You have to pick and choose what you're willing to sacrifice for. I think it's interesting how there are a lot of people that got called into roles in a new organization, Trump administration, that had to give up leading large organizations that they'd worked their whole life to get to lead, that have to do things like give up a lot of their personal investments and stuff, but the country calls. And you begin to wonder, am I big enough? That if something came to me, or as was the case with John Maxwell, when he felt the calling to become with Equip and this whole leadership around the world thing, he had to give up his role as being a pastor of a church.
No, like he gave an example of Condoleezza Rice.
That was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, great example.
Yeah, that was a great example.
I think at every moment, we're always sacrificing something. Economics has a beautiful concept of opportunity cost. For example, right now, we have chosen to take this time to invest it into this mastermind. And the sacrifice we've made is the same time we could have been doing something else. We saw that this had the greater return on the time we invest here than if we were doing something else in the same time. So sacrifice, I believe, is in everything necessary to sacrifice all that you are for what you can become.
I think real sacrifice comes with the passion, the measure of passion you have to do or accomplish whatever you're accomplishing. But to make it sound and make it more workable, you have to draw a line where it should not become diminishing return on that sacrifice. But like you said, it should reach to a point where you have to stop, see the measure it is benefiting or it's going to hurt me, or all the efforts are going to be worthwhile. But sacrifice definitely required.
I always think for sacrifice, what are like the top 5 things that are probably going to get most sacrificed, or sacrificed the fastest? When are they going to get sacrificed? So for me, it's like opportunity cost, taking this leadership goal versus maybe spending more time with my family, or doing a hobby, or also just working on a business. Something inside a business, but maybe not in such a leadership role, maybe more of a kind of like a lonely writer role or something like that. So it's kind of balancing. Probably family life for me would be a big one. Possible money, and also probably just being able to write. To leadership a lot of times is dialogue based more than writing based.
I can give you my example, and I have a very strong example of myself on this law of sacrifice. When I came in this country in 1994, my background was medicine. It was a long process to get my license, to pursue that. I didn't have that much time. And I have 2 young kids. So I was exploring my options to do something. And I ran into the network marketing group, like you were talking earlier, MV. And I didn't know what the network marketing was and what the MV was. I was just approached by people, hey, you want to start your own business and this and that. And I said, oh yeah, I was looking. So anyway, well, that was my experience. But then I got into the sales because of them. That's a long story in short. You can read in my upcoming book this whole story. But I'm coming to the law of sacrifice. Then I started in car business, and everybody started laughing at me because I was not born here. I didn't have any friends, any family members who were looking for cars. And they said, are you kidding? How are you going to sell cars? And I was thinking, yeah, that's a good thing. Wow, if they can do it, I can do it, kind of. I'm going to do whatever it takes. So I didn't sacrifice my family to all of those things, but I did sacrifice a lot of things, like I didn't have money. What else you can do? Nothing. You're broke, you're sitting at home, fighting with your kids and wives and all that. When you're frustrated, what are you going to do? So it's better to get out of the house.
Go earn something.
And everybody used to go 5 days a week at work and, car business. And I was in a Lincoln Mercury dealership. Think about that. How many people buy Lincolns and Mercuries, correct? Think about that. But within 3 months, I became the #1 guy there. And what I did is, today I'm telling the secret to all of you, but it's going to be in my book. But you are my inner circle. I started going every Sunday. Sunday all the dealerships are closed. And you know how many window shoppers, they go there and look for the used cars and these cars in the lot, not to be bothered by the sales guy. I used to go in my short or in my jeans, and as a smoker, I used to watch that this couple walk 5 times around this car. It means that's the car they want. And then I used to walk there, hey, how you doing, guys? Hey, I don't want to bother you. It's a nice car, but I'm just waiting for one of my buddy. I just want to give you my card. If you like it, please call me. I work here. And I used to spread 20 to 25 cards every Sunday in 3 hours. Right? Now, the whole problem with me was, there was a guy, his name was, I can tell you, Alex Soifer, who was the #1 sales guy there for a long time. And they used to treat him like God. He used to sell 16 cars a month, but he was #1 guy. He has his own parking spot right at the door. He has the best demo in those days.
Right,
Yeah, every 4 months he used to get the best demo, like a Mercury or Lincoln or all that. And here I am, people, they know that he doesn't know anybody. Second month, people are walking in entire week. We want to see files. Those 25 cars, you get at least 6, 7 people out of that. Because those guys were browsing on those cars, okay? So now out of 6, 7, you got 3, 4 cars sold, all right? So 4 weeks, 16, I got him, all right? Then I thought that who buys Lincoln? Who buys Lincoln? All old people. What time they get up?
Early, 5.
Because they go to bed at 6:30.
Right. They get
So,
to 5
so if they need a service, they are the first people, 7:30, they want a free coffee and newspaper to read so they can get their car fixed early morning.
Right.
Dealership opens at 9, but service opens at 7:30. I start going at 7:45. Sales department is closed. I'm sitting in service, drinking free coffee with them. I'm talking, hey, well, I got this. Oh, wow, that's a nice car, but you have to upgrade now and this and that. And let's take a walk. So we are walking in the lot. Dealership is still closed. And I already sold the car before they opened, 9 o'clock. My manager comes in. I said, I'm writing a deal. He's trading in this car and I got this. 3 months later, he was at 16 and I was at 19.
Nice.
4th month, he sold 16 again, I had 21. Wow. Now the owner and general manager called me in their office and they said,